based on your insecurities, right?
Well, hold on. I don't know if it's fair to frame everything Dan is saying as insecurities, no?
No,
It's literally...
fair.
I would suggest everybody follow this, so you're setting yourself up for just a nightmare. If you're on Tinder, the goal is usually to get like an IG or a number as soon as possible so you can have these conversations in person. Yep.
Wait a second, hold up.
What?
Here's another part.
I think, Destiny, I think you should call out Kyla.
About what? Which thing?
Well, earlier she said that her and her partner.
Dan, if we're going to do this on camera,
Yeah.
do you have any more of that dye left for your beard, or?
That's funny. Do you have any more height? You know, I can dye my beard. You can't do anything about your height, boy. Hold on, we're shaving. I'm getting too many white hair comments.
No. Yeah, now Dan, you're good.
Oh no. Did you? Oh no.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. That was my bad. Dan, you look distinguished. Is that a compliment for a man?
Yeah, I know.
All right, just a little bit of a trim, so I'm not quite as old. Now I'm more youthful speaking.
Okay.
All right, we have two themes. Dan, has Steven told you the themes yet?
Yeah, do you know what our two
No,
themes are?
why would I be told the themes? It's not like I literally came up with the show, but that you know what? Just go ahead and
Well,
fill
the
me in
thing
now.
is that like Dan knows so much about everything. I figured like, does he even need to be filled in? It's
That
just
is
Dan.
true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
I'll allow it. So what is the themes you guys?
What
came
are the
up
two
with?
themes we got for this one?
The two themes we have was cheating and losing interest during relationships, which you can see that these two things would be linked as well, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And I figure I can bring in the
came up with some-
perspective from long-term relationships, and Dan can bring in the perspective of cheating. I'm just kidding.
Why? No,
Damn.
I don't know
kidding. I'm
what
just kidding. I'm
is
just
getting
kidding.
into you today.
I'm just kidding. It's not about
you
what's
okay?
getting into me. It's about who you're getting into, Dan. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Stop.
Holy. Is cheating bad? Let's start at the basics.
Do you think it's bad?
I think that
Wait.
if you what?
Let's define cheating first, so people know what we're talking about. That's a good thing.
We're really backing up.
Yeah. I would say cheating is when you engage in infidelity in a relationship, when you break some sort of like relationship promise related to generally how you interact with other people that are like the opposite sex, or I guess it could be the same if you're bisexual generally. So there could be like emotional cheating or like physical cheating, or yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go try and one up you there. I was going to say cheating is anything when you start interacting with another person and you start feeling romantically about them and you keep going back. But obviously, you know, you could just fuck someone and that's cheating.
Yeah.
But I think other things are also cheating. Like if you really start liking your neighbor and you hang out with them all the time. What are you laughing at? What's so fucking funny? Huh? Get a fucking hold of
Okay,
yourself.
I am. Hold on.
God, you're such a child. Okay, we're here doing a
Stop.
serious.
No.
fucking channel.
No. Keep. Just please.
I lost track. Just go. What do you want, Snake Woman? Say what it is.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're a
Hold
mess.
on. I'm trying. Okay. Every time I talk to Dan on a show, I can only think of this guy called Tony W, and it just fucks my head so hard. I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay,
Can I vibe off that for 1 second?
go ahead.
Go for it.
Because Dan said something that's really important, that I think is true on that.
Oh my god.
It was like a shit joke that was coming up. I guarantee
No,
you.
it
anyways.
was true.
It was.
Hold on, it was true.
It was. Oh yeah, that's true with your mom.
Okay, unless you are a celebrity or a woman, generally cheating takes like a lot of deliberation. Even for women, generally, you have to go through a lot of stuff to cheat. And the thing that Dan said is that like sometimes people will make it sound like cheating was an accident, like, oh, I started to catch feelings for somebody and we started talking more, blah 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 blah. But it's important to recognize at the beginning of that like kindling of something romantic that you have the opportunity to cut that off, and if you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're fucking yourself really hard. I don't think it's cheating to fall for somebody or to get a crush on somebody or whatever, but if you start to pursue that, you're continually re-engaged. That's probably not something good.
Yeah, I would basically like label cheating as basically like I feel like in relationships you establish some level of contract, like even if it's not like verbally expressly like signed off of like this is what we view cheating, you talk about it enough that you broadly know what your partner views as cheating. And more importantly, I think you should actually talk about with your partner what is conceived of as cheating, because for some people it's as like simple as porn, right? Whereas for other people it's going to be exclusively more like when you're establishing a new relationship and whatnot, but then you get into poly relationships and that doesn't count. So it's like in any way where you've broken the contract of what you've both agreed on isn't allowed with other people. So that's in monogamy usually some form of like sexual and romantic relationship, and in a poly relationship, it's going to be more complex, and then it has to be, I think, explicitly negotiated.
Yeah, I feel like also that thing you said, I think you should, this is going to sound really cringe, but I'm probably going to say this a lot for every piece of advice that I give on the show ever, and it's always said on every forum, but it's like so true. Communication is something that needs to happen. A lot of people try to exist in the gray zones, where they know their partner's probably not comfortable with something, but if they don't say anything about it, they think it's okay. I think there was a big Reddit post, I think we read this like a day or two ago, where like a wife found out that her husband had like a I don't want to say a work wife, but he had like a girl at work that he was like pretty close to, that he talked to all the time and shit. And sometimes partners can get uncomfortable if you have like just other girls or guys that you're really close to that you aren't dating, because they feel like it's a propensity to cheat, or that you already have, or that you're hiding something. So it's always good to like iron that out beforehand, like what's okay. Actually, on that, I'm kind of curious. Are you okay, Dan? Would you be okay with your wife having like a really close guy friend? And then Erudite, would you be okay, or Kyla, would you be okay with your husband having a really close girlfriend? Or friend girl. Sorry, yeah, go.
So I think no is probably how I'd be okay with it. Is I wouldn't. And I try to feel the same way as how would she feel if I was like some girl that I was hanging around with. I guess a lot of it also depends on if they like have feelings romantically for each other. Like I think there's a difference if you have a coworker you just spend all fucking day with constantly, and like you're friends, and that's fine, but you don't think about that person romantically. Like, so a good example of this would be if my wife was hanging out with some guy all day because of work or whatever, but I knew that she was not attracted to this guy in any way, both emotionally or physically. Like, let's just say that this is like a Boba the Fett looking motherfucker, right? Mm-hmm. I have nothing to worry about. Then I don't think I would have a problem with it unless I felt like the guy was going to start fucking doing whispers in her ear, trying to like fuck with our relationship a little bit. So that's kind of how I look at it, is like when anything that I would do or wouldn't do, I'd be like, would she be okay with it, and vice versa. And you know, that's how it is. And it's not like, not Boba Fett. Just Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt.
I was wondering who that was.
Just shut the fuck up.
I was going to ask. I didn't know Boba Fett was ugly or not, but I've never seen Under the Mask. I didn't watch The Mandalorian, so.
First off, he was ugly. Okay, just to be clear. Okay. That was an ugly dude, but Jabba the Hutt is what I meant in that situation. Okay?
Okay. Wait, anyways. Hold on. I'm curious on that, because I've seen this come up. Actually, wait, Kyla, you answer first. Go.
Yeah, so I think there's a difference between where I would like my relationship to get to and where I am. And I think it's actually really important that people acknowledge the gap between these two things and negotiate that gap as well with their partner. So I think I would like to get to the place where I would be completely comfortable with my husband having a really close female friend. The issue is that I'd probably want to be friends with her to some extent as well, because it would garner like mutual trust between all three parties. However, I'm also realistic that right now I'm probably not fully there. Like, I don't think I'm fully at a place where I'd be 100% comfortable with it, which is unfortunate because I actually think it fundamentally comes down to trust. And I think he's at that place. Like, he'd be totally fine with it. I think he's very much of the view of like, well, if I do treat, then now he knows that he's got like an unloyal wife, and he's, you know, he'd rather dodge the bullet sooner than later. Whereas I think that I have like more issues in that. Is that just a bee? I think we have a bee infestation in our basement.
Well, if you only have one bee, that's not too bad.
Well, we've had like 6 now in the basement that have died. So
is 6 infested? I feel like you need like 20 to 30 to count as an infestation.
That's fair, but why do we have so many dead bees in our basement? I don't know.
True.
Anyway, sorry to derail. So yeah, I think that there's like this gap between these two things, and it's something that we're both working on. And like, as I've gotten a better sense of self-security, I've been way more comfortable with like any form of relationship, which fundamentally is an issue because that means that it's like my insecurities are like creating some like ceiling for his experiences.
What's your guy? Wait. I'm just so curious. Hold on. I have a lot of questions about this. Here's a question. You have a significant other, you start dating, you get married or whatever. You find out that they have a really close work friend of the opposite sex. Are you ever at a point where you like force them to not be friends with them, or to like change departments, or?
No. I think the moment you give ultimatums with like, it's me or them, it feels really unhealthy, at least like in my relationships. I really am not comfortable being like, you can't, especially if there's no reason to, right?
Well, to be clear, some ultimatums are okay, right? Like, if you
Yes,
hit
but-
me, I'm going to leave you. Like, I think it's okay to have some alternatives.
right,
Sure.
right. But that's I would argue that's more of a boundary, right? Because the ultimatum in this case would be basically like, I feel insecure about your relationship with this other person, even though at this point, especially, let's assume best case scenario, there is no cheating going on and there never will be. I'm just feeling insecure about it. It seems really wrong for me to make this big ask. I can, and my partner can choose to acknowledge that and like give me that ask if they so value our relationship, I guess, enough. But I do think it's unfortunately like it's a compromise that's kind of shitty for the person who's being asked.
If your
I-
wife was,
I don't-
yeah, really close to a fellow
don't feel
psychologist
the
in
same
school.
No, I don't feel the same at all. I think that's not the case. Like, cheating is like opportunity meets like timing or effort or something. And what? Can you shut the fuck up? What is wrong with you? You know what?
I'm not. It's
What?
opportunity.
Get a hold of yourself right now.
It's preparation, but yeah, go ahead.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't fucking matter.
I know where
You
you're going
what I was
though. It's a
saying.
good point. Make it.
Okay. The whole point is I'm so sorry.
I'm done.
You're a fucking mess, dude. You're a disaster.
Okay,
This is a
that was
serious
the last
show.
one. That was the last one. That was the last one.
I don't believe you, but that's
Okay,
fine.
you
All
were
right.
saying cheating is the
Opportunity plus incentive or risk or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I would not want to put myself or my wife into a situation where you could easily stumble into that. Like, walking along the train tracks is fine. You know, most people aren't going to get hit by a train, but you're certainly more fucking likely to have that happen. And I think that if you have, and also you're only putting one person's, I guess, motives and realities of what's happening here when you think about like, oh, I don't want to force this on my wife or my husband. You're not talking about the other person, what their motives are. And if their motives is to sleep with your significant other or fuck them over, or not fuck them over, but to fuck them, like, their intentions are going to be to like to weaken your relationship as much as possible. So they're going to be fucking constantly, you know, whispering bad things into your partner's ear, saying like, you know, he doesn't treat you well and everything else, even if that's not the case. So I think that you can't know what's going to happen in that situation. So I think we just try to typically avoid it. What we do is we have couple friends. We have a lot of people that are friends that are married, and even though there's still some sort of a risk that can happen I think that it's mitigated enough, and you can't expect, you know, your spouse to go through life having no friends at all. And I think this is a good way that when you're, you know, you essentially couple friends is the solution there. But yeah, to be clear, I wouldn't be comfortable if I thought there was a really close work or personal relationship with the other sex, unless like I gave the example earlier of Jabba the Hutt. But even in that situation, how much damage can someone like that fucking do if Jabba the Hutt really wants to fuck your wife really bad? Like, he can be like, hey, listen, you know, I don't want to be with you, but he really treats you bad, and, you know, I'll always be here. Like, that's fucking dangerous shit as well. So that's all.
I think it's actually really important to acknowledge that like there is more risk. I do think couples can negotiate it and navigate it, but I also think as a couple, if you're like, we just don't even want to fuck with that, you can. I just think we have to like give the gravity to the ask that we're giving there. But at like a public, like really general standpoint, I agree that like you are just inherently increasing the risk. The issue is, what if you have a partner who's like, I promise you, like, this isn't going to happen, and I would hope that you could trust me enough. Like, how do you navigate this when the partner's like, I'm not just gonna like leave? Like, what if it's their dream job, dream department, they just have a really good relationship? What if that friend is willing to be friends with you too, and they're like, are you seriously gonna ask me this? So it's really hard to give like a broad stroke answer for like if they're working with somebody beforehand, because there's so many complicating factors that go into it that might make it okay and also might make it really not okay.
I think the best is to go with your gut, honestly. Like, if you genuinely feel like this guy has no, like, maybe he's fucking in a long-term marriage and he has fucking 6 kids, and, you know, he's racist against like Jewish people or something. I don't fucking know. Like, maybe in some of those situations you can make something work and feel comfortable with it, but it's completely based on your gut every time. I don't think there is a standing rule like, you know, as long as it's less than 20 hours a week, it's okay or something. You literally gotta feel the motherfucker out and be like, yo, you know, what's the deal, homie?
I think people gave him a lot of shit for this, but I think for traditional monogamous relationships, are you guys aware of the Pence rule?
He just doesn't deal with bitches at all.
He will not
is alone with them, right?
He won't eat meals alone with them, and he doesn't go to events featuring alcohol with women without his wife there. I think that's actually an okay boilerplate rule. Like,
Isn't this the ninja rule?
I don't know, maybe. But I think that something that Dan says it's kind of true is that, like, when we think about cheating, sometimes we only think about it from the perspective of our partner, which ultimately it's their decision to cheat. But if you continually put them in highly compromising situations, that can get rough. Like if the other person is pushing for things, like the best case scenario is you think like, well, would my partner cheat on me? And hopefully the answers are like, well, of course they wouldn't. No, obviously they wouldn't. But if the question becomes, if your partner had another woman that he was close to throwing herself at him, would he cheat on me then? That can be like a more difficult question to answer. And now you're kind of like holding the relationship kind of at the whim of the other person, the would-be seductress or seductor, which I think can be pretty nerve-wracking or make for discomfort. I think what Kyla said about everybody being friends is probably helpful too. Anytime you've kind of incorporated that third party into the kind of the relationship wholesale so that both people everybody knows each other, probably makes things a little bit easier as well. And then you can also feel out vibes too, because like if the friend of your significant other is like constantly shit talking you or is being like really catty or kind of like rude or whatever, then you can kind of pick up there where it's like, oh, this doesn't seem like it's okay,
Yeah, I think in any monogamous situation, you would have to be soft friends at least with this person, like the opposite partner. So like if it's my husband, I would need to be at least friends and like know this individual enough that I would feel comfortable talking to them so that I can at least like suss them out a little bit. Here's one question though, because Dan said go with your gut. And I think that's a pretty good piece of advice for people who have pretty good gut feelings. What if your gut is consistently wrong? Like what if you have like high levels of anxiety and insecurity, and so like your gut feelings are
that's the Costanza.
Really
that's the Costanza rule. Then you just do that, and then you just do the opposite of whatever you think you should do in that situation, and then that's how you solve that. If that's the case where your gut is always wrong, you just do the opposite.
Well, okay, that's not reasonable because you're gonna feel like shit the entire time, right?
I mean, what you're saying, if your gut is wrong every time and there's some like fucking Brad Pitt motherfucker hanging out with your wife and you're like, oh, this is awesome, I'm gonna go to the movies, what could go wrong? You need to be like, oh, wait a second, I should do the opposite of what I normally think here in that case. But I mean, I don't know whose gut ever does them that bad.
Well, people with like anxiety and stuff like that.
Their guts they're always catastrophizing.
If you have
this person hates me and they're completely wrong.
I feel like if you're having these types of anxiety problems, I think this is something that you address in therapy, because chances are if you're this anxious here, this anxiety is probably following you to other parts of your relationship and you're going to self-sabotage, I would think.
Yeah. And so like doing the opposite of your gut in that situation, this is where like when people are like trying to tease apart like relationship stuff and they like have high levels of insecurity, which I think in these types of situations, if you're insecure, it's going to bring these out the worst. And it's like, there's nothing worse in my mind than to like basically like make your partner constantly responsible for managing and mitigating your anxiety and your insecurities. Because that creates like such a discrepancy and so much resentment. Like it's hard not to resent somebody who controls your life based on like essentially fictitious worries about things that are never going to happen, right? But when you go the opposite, sometimes this is the issue for anxious people, sometimes they're right, and that's kind of what feeds the anxiety loop, is actually that like they over prepare, over worry, but then like 1 out of 10 times they're correct and they're like, well, I'm glad I over worried because I caught that one time and I definitely wouldn't have if I hadn't been anxious, which is true. And so it's like this very reinforcing. So if they do the opposite all the time, they'll A, probably go crazy, and B, they'll be wrong still a lot of the time.
I mean, if you're someone who has a ton of anxiety and then your spouse is going around and spending 30 hours a week with some other dude and like being really friendly with them, then I feel like it's kind of bitch made on the spouse to do that, knowing, because she or he probably knows damn well that you're super anxious and that you have problems with this and they're doing it anyways. Like, I feel like the considerate thing to be like, oh, my husband's a little bit, uptight and, very jealous. I should probably try to avoid some of this. Not a huge deal to me. That's fine.
Yeah, I guess you
like
could. It just depends on
person, like the person outside of the relationship.
No, he's saying the significant other should avoid making his
other.
anxious partner. Yeah, if you're willing to, I would say actually no. Here's something that I've seen happen over and over and over and over and over and over again. When people have mental health problems, I think sometimes you want to feel like you want to be a good person and you want to accommodate those as much as you can. And for minor ones you can, but for major ones, I think that's going to foster a huge sense of resentment. Like I think you'll be able to deal with it for a little bit, and then I think eventually you'll be like, this is bullshit. There's going to be like a work trip that you want to go on. There's going to be a project you want to work on. There's going to be a new supervisor that's going to come in. Something's going to happen where there's going to be somebody that makes your partner uncomfortable, and at some point you're going to be like, I've made so many fucking concessions to you. Like, you really can't trust me with this person. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. And I think that
we're talking about like a all or everything here. I think like there's some middle ground to be had there. Obviously, you can't keep your fucking spouse locked up in the fucking basement. I mean, maybe you can. I don't know, but like, that's not acceptable. But I think there are some bigger things that we can do. Like if you think that your wife is spending all of her work time with someone and then going out on the evenings twice a week with this guy to hang out with his friends, that's a fucking major red flag. Be like, hey, I don't want you hanging around with this guy anymore. And if she has a problem with that, then there's probably a fucking problem, because that is too much. You know, you're a fucking married woman. Okay, you have 4 kids. This is not the shit that we do. And if this is a fucking game breaker for you, then there's bigger problems to know what's going on, because I don't think this is normal to do this type of stuff. So that's me. But I think there's too much. I feel like what we're going to run into a lot between you guys is you guys want to like push the boundaries to the maximum fucking limits, just as much as possible. Be like, oh, if this was a good relationship, you'd be okay with me fucking my neighbor. Obviously, we have some problems here.
Wait, hold on. Wait, who is you guys?
Both of you in this case, obviously.
Wait, hold on. First of all, she's in a monogamous relationship.
No. I'm saying the take that I've gotten so far is that you guys want a relationship where you kind of let the other person, you're not restricting them. They're doing what they want to do for the most part, up until there's just this one moment. And I'm not okay with that. To me, I feel like I want to put some restrictions on, and she wants to put them on me, and that avoids a lot of shit that could happen in the meantime. And I feel the saying I was having, or the feeling I was having, is that you guys are like, no, she can go hang out with this guy 80 hours a week as long as they're not fucking and they're not romantic. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, absolutely not. That will like 90% lead to something. And I love the marriage I'm in. You know, like, that's it. Like, yes, if I trusted you that much, I would let you go hang out with some fucking dude for 80 hours. But you know what? It's not about me trusting. I can't trust that motherfucker. I can't trust you. It's not about me respecting what you want to do. It's literally just about looking at the odds. 70% of the time or 80% of the time this shit happens, it's going to turn out bad for both of us. And we want to stay married. Like, if Gal Gadot knocks on my fucking door and she's like, Dan, I want to fucking slam that dick, that's going to cause a lot of shit in my fucking marriage. I'm going to be honest with you. That's like a whole, I don't want that to happen, because that will fuck my shit up so hard, right?
How do you draw the boundary between like what's reasonable then and what's unreasonable?
I think it has to be fully negotiated. So this is where I'm kind of like in between. And so like, if this wasn't clear enough, that's fair. But what I really think is like, you can put as many or as little restrictions on a relationship as you like. You just have to, both of you need to take responsibility for what impact that's actually going to have in your relationship. So if you want to set the line really far back because of anxiety and insecurity, I think that is fine, as long as both partners agree to it. And there's some acknowledgement of a basically being like, you're asking for something based on your insecurities, right?
Well, hold on. I don't know if it's fair to frame everything Dan is saying as insecurities, no?
No, it's literally, it's insurance, essentially. I'm looking at it more on the, what's the name of the word? The practice of insurance?
Of risk, right?
I don't think it's even, it's the idea that like, given a certain environment, if you put yourself in a certain area, something could grow. And if you don't, there's just no chance of it happening. So like, I don't like to, obviously I do open relationships and I'm all of that, so I don't give a fuck. But I don't like it when other people phrase other people's desires to be more careful as just stemming from insecurity. I think it's possible you could be very secure in a relationship and you're just like, hey, for the intents and purposes of all of us just kind of like chilling, maybe we should just like have these types of rules in place just so that nothing is even potentially going to go awry or nothing is going to potentially grow. I think that's an okay thing to, I think that's an okay thing to have without it necessarily being about insecurity.
Yeah. That's fair. I definitely don't want to chalk it up to the only reason you'd pump brakes is insecurity. Sure. I guess I was trying to give a hypothetical of like in the case, because I think a lot of times it does come to that. But what Dan is outlining is essentially like some level of insurance and protection. You're like, I'm going to mitigate certain levels of risk, right? If there's like a 70% chance that this could lead, I trust my partner, but like, everyone's human. Why would I risk a 70% chance of like something going on? Then he also talked about the 80-hour per week thing, right? And that to me is less about insecurity and a lot more about like wanting time with your partner. Like I would have an issue with Nick spending 80 hours a week with basically anyone if it was like one person all the time, and that means I have almost no time with Nick. That would be more of my issue that I'd be negotiating.
Sure. I think Dan didn't mean like 80 hours a week like they're spending every week, but like they work together, so they see each other in the office like all the time. I think is what Dan was kind of going at. Not they're like hanging out outside of work and everything too.
Yeah.
I feel like when you understand that like you probably feel, well, I don't know. I'll say that I feel very close to my wife. I feel like she's like one in a million to me,
Cringe.
right? But that's only one in a million. There's a lot of fucking people on the earth, you know? I mean, that means there's probably at least like 1,000 other people that are going to be better matched for me, that I'll find more attractive or something. Like this whole soulmate thing is kind of fucking nonsense, right? So there is a chance, because how many women have I actually even laid eyes on or had conversations with in my life? It's not like, you know, a million of them, and there's so many, so you can't know. So all you can do is protect what you have and not go actively shopping for more, and on top of not shopping for more, kind of putting a brakes on that. You're not even going to the supermarket anymore, if that makes sense. So that's how I feel about it.
Because essentially what you're saying is like, I've chosen my wife, like more or less, and like because I value that choice and that commitment that I've made, I'm going to do certain things to make sure that I'm protecting that choice and not making like other things being more. Like, I don't want to have like temptations arise, because the choice matters to me, and I'm willing to basically like discard those temptations because I want to be choosing my wife regardless of the like external stuff. Am I understanding you?
Yeah, I mean, it's, as he said, it's kind of like insurance, just avoiding bad situations across the board, and not out of jealousy or anything, because I think we're very close to each other, but just out of just knowledge of what happens. Like shit like this blows up, and then you're like, fuck. I bet so many people that cheat on their spouse or divorce as a result of that are just like, I wish I never fucking met this person. That fucked my whole world up. That in the moment I thought like this was my new soulmate and everything was going to happen. They wish they never met that person. And you can't do that. All you can do is literally, just not put yourself in that situation and see them at all.
So then how do you control like the other side of basically preventing resentment from building up if like a lot of the brakes that are getting pumped feel like maybe unfair, or like what if one partner is constantly asking for like the further back line and like they both agree to it, but
then that's a fucking red flag in my opinion. So if I'm married to you and I'm like, hey, listen, I really don't want you hanging out with the guys, and you're like, I don't give a fuck who you're hanging out with. To me, what I take away from that is that you think that you're a higher market item, and that you're kind of with me like out of convenience, and if we broke up you'd be fine and everything else. Like, it doesn't seem like you're, I don't want to say jealous or anxious or anything like that, but you don't really particularly care. Like, oh yeah, sure, go put yourself in that situation where you might fuck some other woman, no big deal, I trust you, it's fine. And it's like, wait, hold up, there's like a 50% chance if I hang out with this bitch all the time I might like leave you. It's like, oh well, I trust you, it's fine. You're not feeling that strong about me in my opinion, that way. So that's how I would see. I would hope that both people would feel the same, and if they don't, I think it is a problem.
Okay, so it's probably whatever negotiation you have here, it's probably important that both people are on the same page at the very least. We probably all agree with that, right?
No.
Yeah. What do you guys think about being like friends with like exes and stuff? Is that something that's okay, or is that a hard no? Absolutely.
It depends how many. I guess like.
It really depends on the breakup. Like, really depends on like if they.
I don't even know if the breakup even matters.
Well, if like think if they had like the most, like they're both like, we're just okay not being together because the entire time.
No, I'm sorry. I'm putting my foot down. No, fucking. Really? I would just thought if my fucking wife was like, oh yeah, this is one of my boyfriends before you, I'd be taking this motherfucker back. Yo, let me show you my iguana guns. That's what I'd be doing right there. Okay. No.
What the
nah
fuck then?
No shot, no exes allowed, not in my house either way. It's too dangerous.
I feel like what Erudite was saying is probably true, which is, even Dan would admit it. You're gonna be like in that Lil Dicky song where you're like super threatened by the guy and you find out that they like dated once in like 3rd grade or something for a week.
Oh no, that of course that's like stupid, but I mean, if it was like a serious relationship, right, 5 years ago or something, that's not like this person is muy peligroso for you.
This is the hard rule that I would align with, that I would tell, I would suggest everybody follow this, so you're setting yourself up for just a nightmare. What Erudite said, the way that relationship ended is really important. If your significant other was dumped, I would never, ever, 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 ever suggest anybody let them be friends with that other person, because you don't want to feel like you're playing second string, and you don't want to feel like they're going after like the one that got away, and you don't want to feel like there's like that potentiality hanging out there. I think that would be like really mindfucky for a lot of people, and I've heard people that get like those vibes from people. The worst is actually, I think, when it's a dead ex, because then they're like constantly like mind fucked. But yeah, I think that you're setting us up for a really toxic situation if that happens.
Yeah, like if they were on and off again for like years and every time they broke up it was super messy. Usually really messy breakups are messy because like both people still have this like really intense attraction and like probably love for each other as well, but it's really toxic and unhealthy. So they can't handle being together and they can't handle being apart to some extent. And it's like that's the type of ex where I'd be like, absolutely not. But to be honest, like if they were like that drawn to wanting to still be in a relationship with them, that itself would kind of be a red flag to me, because I'd be like, I don't know if you're actually over this person if you were on and off again for years. But if like even if they dated for like 2 years, especially if it's been several years since then and they just like were never super into each other and then they just kind of like naturally faded in their own life, that to me feels like a much more like natural thing. I'd probably still have so here's the thing, I would have a lot of breaks about what that friendship specifically looks like, right? So if they wanted to be friends, I'd be like, great. They need to meet me. I need to have a decent relationship. And I'd probably say like no hanging out one-on-one ever. Like they need to always be hanging out in some sort of like group or public setting. Like certain safety breaks to basically like reduce. But yeah, if it was like that calm of a breakup, you don't have those calm of breakups if you don't, like your feelings aren't there. Like if you just are like, okay, we're cool just being apart, they probably never should have been together in the first place at that point.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think that the way the breakup happens is really important. And then the type of contact they have too. Like if people are like, oh my God, this is my girlfriend and we broke up a year or two ago and we were on and off for like 4 years, like I'm gonna meet them for coffee. That's probably like not a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. If they like chat occasionally like on fucking Facebook chat or some shit to catch up a little bit, that's probably okay, but like yeah, but also like if it's like an old girlfriend from like high school and they're like the other person's like married now, it's probably not as big of a deal. But that's probably also something you'd have to feel out a little bit to see what's going on. Yeah,
very frisky.
Yeah, you're definitely playing with fire.
Oh, you're fucking 100. You guys are like, oh yeah, if you want to play with some matches inside, all right, just move the papers around and make sure. Fuck that, ain't no matches in this house. You gotta fucking go out in the middle of the ocean with a fucking goddamn coliseum of people watching you to make sure you're not going to do any flirting. Like even then, I'm not a fan of it. No, so this is like that to me. That's like all the danger signs. You have all the danger signs of like doing it with a work person, but these people before you knew that they were already a match for each other. That's just not for me. Nah.
I don't know if they were though. Like how many like people each other and aren't really a match for each other all the time, especially like when you have like these young relationships. Like so many people will get into a relationship when they're really young because they just like think that that's what you're supposed to do, and then they maintain it for like 2 years because they're both kind of like passive and a little bit AFK, and it's like not really a thing.
All right.
I agree why there's flags, but here's the thing, I wouldn't be willing to just say no. I'd be willing to negotiate it with my partner unless it was a situation like we said where it was like a super messy breakup, super on and off. That type of situation I would just never.
So you got to look at this in statistics again, right? I already said I'm not letting my wife hang out with some random dude I know nothing about that just happens to be at work with him. Okay, that there's a certain odd that's being associated with just being a dude in my wife's proximity. Okay, but let's go ahead and now I think the odds are much higher if this was some guy that she's previously slept with, because there's a lot of guys that aren't going to be a match for her, but I already know that this guy was a match for her at one point, and that's why the fucking danger is there. So it's worse than any of the other options, in my opinion.
Jesus, I mean, like, Dan is just hardcore on that.
I mean,
no risks. We
have friends. But we have risks. Okay,
no risks in Dan's world.
We have couple friends. Like that's the way you fucking do it. There's no way that I could ever have any female friend ever, right? Because it would put her in a fucking incredibly like situation to be in. Like I'm not saying that like we can be friends, right? But like if it got more serious, if I start like direct message, like we're not gonna have a direct messaging type of me and you, that's not gonna work out, I'm afraid to say. All right, I just don't put myself in those situations. Like today there was a story about like this guy, Caleb Maupin got canceled because
I agreed to do so for $250 per session because I did need the money, and it felt like if I said no, hold on, wait, what am I reading right now? Oh man. Oh, this is his wife. Him deleting his Twitter is humiliating, so it just plays into his face. Stop.
Right? This whole thing. And I said in Chud's chat, I was like, you know what? There's a lot of shit that can go fucked in my life, but it will never be for anything sexual assault, for sexting, anything, because I don't fucking put myself in those situations at all. Period. And I think that's the right way to fucking do a relationship. Completely.
it's kind of like alcohol. You know how like the Bible would say like never drink alcohol, don't be drunk or anything. So the idea basically is like you probably shouldn't be drunk, like at the Bible standpoint, because you can do some crazy, bad, nasty, wild shit when you're drunk. So to be really safe, you should maybe never drink. But a lot of people actually can drink and not get drunk or not do wild, crazy stuff. But if you're the type of person where every time you drink, you get wildly drunk and you do dumb shit, yeah, you should probably never drink. But I don't think like prescribing for every relationship of being like basically never drink isn't really the solution, because a lot of people are like, yeah, but I can handle a little bit of alcohol. I'm not necessarily going to be wild.
Not in Dance World.
No, it's about percentage outcomes. Okay, if you drink one glass of wine with dinner, that's probably not going to lead to anything fucking crazy. But if like you're doing 2 or 3 usually, and you're like you can handle it, the odds, if you look at 1,000 other people, are going to be way fucking off the chart. Whereas before it may have been 5% of something happening. 3 or 4 maybe takes that to 60. So that's why we look at the odds. And I think in my world, I like to keep those odds. We have as much freedom as possible to do what we want to do while still keeping it under like the 15% or something along those lines. And I think that's the right way of doing it. And you're like 95. Just don't fuck anyone, and I trust you. And it's to me, it's like,
that's
whoa.
Not what I'm saying though. I'm saying
it feels like it.
No, I'm willing to put breaks in. That's why I said like when it's a messy breakup situation, it's just a no. I don't think there's really any safe way to do it. But if it was a very like tame relationship, if they did it when they were 14 for 2 months, it's something where I feel much more comfortable with. I'm still going to have certain protections established and negotiated that I would want, right? I don't really want you hanging out alone if you've had like any sexual relationship in the past. You probably shouldn't be hanging out with them alone every week. Like there's going to be a whole bunch of safety parameters. But if they're like, yeah, but like now, what if they're their coworker all of a sudden? I'm not going to say, well, no, you can just never talk to them again, or no, you need to like switch a department, or like, no, you can't like text them every now and then. Like these are things that I'm like, these are the risks where you like, you can have 1 sip, you can have 2 drinks maybe. My partner might be able to handle 3 drinks really well and not do anything wild, but you probably shouldn't have 4 to 5 drinks, right? That would be kind of how I negotiate it. It's like finding the scale.
Does your wife have any male friends, Dan? Wait, is your wife allowed to have a cell phone?
Stop.
I'm just curious.
My wife has a lot of coworkers that are men.
Friendship with that.
I was just checking.
I said
I was checking.
Like ones that's just her friend and not mine. No, but we have like tons of friends that are couples that are involved typically with a man and a woman, and we're friends with both.
Oh, like me and Melina. You guys are friends with us. We're like couples friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Couples friends are rough though. It's really hard to find a whole other couple where like that you're limited to just each other, that both parties get along really well. Like usually whenever you try to, I don't know if you've had this experience, but when like Nick and I try to find couple friends, it'll be like the like husband will like be really fun and we'll both kind of like jive, or like the wife will be really cool and we'll both kind of jive, but like the like other partner's like kind of left out and doesn't click as much with the group and stuff. I find couple friends is actually like pretty difficult to like find two other people that match super well.
Me and Melina get along super well with Dan's wife and his life, and we have a grand time every time we go out. It's amazing. I'll tell you some of those stories in a year or two, guys. It's pretty wild.
I don't know what's happening.
But final question I have on this topic: what is your guys' policy for devices? Are you allowed to go through your partner's messages at any time, or how do you feel about that? Do you ever?
In my relationship, our phones are pretty open. The only thing is like there's like certain stuff that we keep private as far as like diaries and stuff like that, because it's like if you're emotionally processing by yourself, there's probably a reason. So like on my husband's phone, his notes section is where he'll like write down his thoughts and stuff. So that's an area where like we keep it private, but that's because like you need some privacy and you should like negotiate it. But other than that, like basically everything. And I'm sure like if I really push and I was like, I need to see your notes, he'd probably let me. It's just at this point, because of like, we've also been separated. So this is like a whole negotiated thing. I really understand what the purpose of his notes is. And we can check each other's phones. We're very, very chill with that.
Wow. What about you, Dan?
Yeah.
Did your wife go through your messages ever?
I'll be right back.
I don't think we ever go through each other shit like that, but she's like, she'll use my phone if she's doing something. It's not like, oh, hold on, let me go and delete these. I don't know. I never felt the need to go through it like that. So I've never done that. I don't know if she's done it. Probably because I'm kind of a giga chad a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised. But that's fine. She can keep doing it. That's fine.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Do you have a camera cover?
Yep.
Wait, do you want to just cover your camera and say nothing and see what she says?
Sure. Fuck.
Guys, I have wireless headsets. I can literally hear you.
God
the
damn it.
time.
So stupid.
Okay, well, anyway,
That was cute. It was a cute
No,
little prank.
shut
Should I
up.
have acted surprised?
no, okay. On the second thing,
Tee-hee.
okay, well, let's
Wait,
zip.
I have a hypothetical.
Yeah, what's your
question I
hypothetical?
prepared for cheating. Okay. So this is something I heard a relationship counselor or whatever speaking about. Actually, I think it was Jordan Peterson brought up this hypothetical.
Wow.
So you've got a hypothetical situation. You have already cheated. It was a fuck up. You know it's never going to happen again. You've done everything personally that you need to do to ensure that. So this is the vacuum. You know that it's never going to happen again. Do you tell your partner? Because if you tell your partner, it's only going to do damage to your relationship, but it's honest. And again, in this hypothetical, you've assumed it will never, ever happen again.
The
do
answer
you
to
do?
that would be no. The only reason that you tell the other person is to make yourself feel better, and it makes the other person feel worse. That's it. There is nothing else to do it. Honesty means nothing. You're gonna fuck everything up. You know it's not gonna happen again, and the only reason that you want to tell that person is so that you can go and be like, I'm sorry I did this. Do you forgive me? And like that makes the other person feel like shit, makes them feel worthless, etc. And yeah, no, fuck it. You cheated. You fucking deal with that for the rest of your life. That's your punishment. You want to cheat? You can go the rest of your life and fucking, think about it every day for the rest of your marriage that you fucked around. And
Okay,
and-
Dan's answer might be right, but it's just for the wrongest reasons, okay? If you're telling your partner you're cheating, it's not to make yourself feel better. I don't think anybody feels good.
You're completely delusional. If you want to tell them, oh, I feel so much better. I was
Okay,
telling this
stop. Hold
secret."
on. Let me explain.
Never do it
I need
again.
no. Hold on. I need to explain why Dan is wrong because he's applying the general understanding of apologies to this specific situation because he doesn't understand why it doesn't work. Okay.
Oh, inform me.
Yeah, I will. Usually, when you apologize to somebody, usually that apology doesn't carry any consequences, so it's just done to make yourself feel better. You go up to somebody like, oh my God, when I said that mean thing to you, bro, I'm so sorry. When I said that mean thing, I'm so that was such a bad thing, blah, 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 okay? This is why apologies are worthless. This is why when you apologize, at least in the Catholic Church to God, just the confession doesn't matter. The other part of that, I believe, is called penance. It's arguably the most important part. You have to go and do an act of service to show God that you were actually sorry for what you've done. When we talk about apologizing to a partner for cheating, the apology part is easy, but the difficult part afterwards is you don't know what they're going to do. And when you apologize to somebody for cheating, what you're really doing is admitting you cheated, which means that you're giving them the opportunity to end the relationship, which is a scary part for you to be in if you don't want the relationship to end. So just telling somebody that you cheated is not something you do for yourself. If anything, you're doing it for them because you're giving them the agency to make a decision based on what's happened in the relationship about how they want to go forward.
Yeah, but we're in a vacuum and whatever.
We're
I
in the
disagree.
vacuum, right? So you're in the vacuum. Let's assume that they'll never find out. You can keep it from them the rest of your life, and you know that you're never going to do it again. And let's also assume your relationship in every other way is an excellent relationship.
Here's
right?
the-
So you know that if you tell them you're going to just do harm, it's going to probably blow up your relationship and make everything worse. And so this is the one. I'm not actually on Dan's side either. I'm giving the hypothetical because I have no idea where to fall on this because I can see such good reasons for both answers.
No, there's a really easy answer to this, I think. No, there's not. Fuck. I was going to say, you should do whatever you want your partner to do. If your partner cheated on you, and
You would, of course, want to know.
if that's the case, then you should tell them.
That they would want to know. That's the issue.
Yeah,
right?
but
So-
everyone wants to know. But
Well, do
it's
they?
not that simple.
they wanna know?
do.
I
Yeah,
don't
they
think
do.
so.
No, they do.
I don't know
guarantee-
sometimes.
I almost guarantee you that Nick probably wouldn't want to know in this situation, and
He
I
would.
would.
He would.
I don't think so.
He would.
Here's a question. This is in the same vein, but a little trickier. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. You exist in a community. Let's say
I do.
Wait, so you would want to know. That's what you're saying, Dan. You'd want to know if she cheated?
I'd wanna know.
I would want to know.
Okay. Let's say that you could flip a switch and all of a sudden you're like Kira from Death Note. You can see of all the men that you interact with, every single person your wife has had a sexual relationship. Would you want to know that?
Like what, in the room with me or something?
No, just like wherever you're at. Like you could tell, like, oh, she was with this guy, or oh, she was with that guy. You would know instantly. Like maybe you have a
Like,
mutual
it's like a
friend,
power, like,
maybe
you
you
have
have
like
an
an
old friend
aura
of
on them.
yourself, and all of a sudden you can see like anybody, like, oh shit, she had a. Would you want to know all of that, or would you rather just not know and not care and just interact with people not knowing?
I mean, that would. Sorry, I'm trying to understand where you're going. For me, that would be useless. You know, she grew up in.
Okay,
Russia, the
engage
Soviet
with the
Union.
fucking hypothetical that you didn't, fucking enslave
okay,
her from
what I-
Eastern Europe as a sex slave
I
to
will-
fucking
I will
marry you for a
always-
green card, okay?
Okay.
Assume it's a normal relationship. Because here's the thing that some people don't know, okay? Or here's the thing that bothers some people. Sometimes people, they find out that their significant other has a friend, and that friend is totally fine. They read messages, everybody gets along, they're chill, blah, 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 blah. And then like 5 years later, a friend of a friend gets drunk, and then they found out my significant other fucked that person in high school or college. And now there's a huge problem, even though nothing has really changed or whatever. So I'm thinking in those situations, would it be better to just not know at all? Or is all the information really good? Because sometimes people find out things like that, it fucks with their head a lot, and they're like, fuck. Or even, to even go more fundamental, like that question of like, should a girl tell a guy her real number, right? Some guy might be totally in love with a girl, loves her, everything's great, great, great. Or past sexual experiences, right? Everything's great. And then, you get drunk, you're like, oh, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? And she's like, oh, well, one time, I had a gangbang with 4 dudes. And then the guy's like, I can never see you the same again. I'm breaking up with you. And it's like, wait, did you just nuke a good relationship for no reason? So I'm just kind of curious, all in the vein of like, is all the information good? Do you want all the information? Do you truly want it all? Or
You think you do. Like, I mean, going back to the example of the whole cheating thing, like, I was thinking about it. Like, I would want to know if my wife cheated on me, but I would also just prefer to continue going through life as I am right now, not thinking about it, assuming that she hasn't. Does that make sense? Like,
no.
Yeah, this is the answer I would give basically. I think most humans are curious enough that like when we're given this hypothetical, we want to know, but probably our lives would be better if we didn't know and if we desired that. Like that, I think that's kind of what I'm like. I know that I'd want to know, and I also know that my life is worse for that propensity to some degree. Like my desire, my like insatiable curiosity and like wanting to have all the information and stuff probably also makes my life worse because there's an element of like control in like wanting to know, right? My life would probably be better if my predisposition said, fuck it. If my relationship can be happy, I'd be better off knowing. That's probably the healthier orientation to have, but that's not my personality at this point.
it's very much like a counterintuitive type of thing, but like right now, the way I exist right now is I feel and I know with like 100% certainty that my wife hasn't been with someone else while we've been together, right? That's what I feel and that's what I know right now. But if you ask me, hey, what?
Kelly, what are you joining this for? We're in an official show. Yeah, go. You got.
I gotta say something real quick.
Go. What do you want?
HIV can take up to 3 months to show up, so tell your partners if you fucking cheat on them.
Okay, hold on. Firstly, if it was going to be any STD, it's going to be herpes, HSD,
Okay.
not HIV. The chances of you getting HIV from cheating in straight sex is like fucking astronomically low. Okay,
But
that
it's
is
not
true.
zero, is it, buddy?
True.
Anyway,
Okay, yeah.
tell people.
STDs are a compounding factor. That is true. Sure. You should always be getting tested if you do cheat. Some of them can take a few weeks or a few months to show up depending on the STD. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, don't be selfish, fucks. Okay, I'm done.
Cool.
Sorry, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. Remember the STDs, guys.
I'm completely derailed from whatever we were talking about. But yeah. All right, can we start doing callers, I guess?
Yeah, I think we're an hour late and now an hour in, so hopefully.
Okay, hold on. Firstly, I said this was at 2:00 today, not 1. So fuck you. We're not an hour
Our
late.
tweet and everything was set up at 1.
No
Everything was set
shot.
up at
It was
1.
on my calendar at 2. I don't
No,
believe
I
you.
checked our tweet and everything. I was like, but I didn't want to say anything. 'cause I
Good.
didn't wanna
Don't.
be that
Well, and
guy.
here you are still talking. So drag in the
Well,
callers.
You made me that guy.
Okay.
This is your fault. All right. I'll let our caller know. I'll call in guy.
Yeah, bring in the first one. Yeah, we never got to the second topic. Just don't get bored of your partner. Okay, there you go. Oh God, I'm getting horny. Sorry, I'm just kidding. What you know what you're doing with it?
Yeah, I want to listen to that music.
No, stop.
Who's
Stop.
got that
Stop.
song? It's like
Stop.
the Egyptian
Just
song.
Stop it. Okay,
What the fuck?
Brad Loop. What do you want? I'm sorry. Hold on. Brad, welcome to the
our
call
first
today.
caller?
Yeah.
Can we
Hi.
judge you a little bit by your avatar, though? Like, I feel like I already know
No,
so
you
much about.
cannot. No,
Well, I
you
mean,
cannot.
they say don't judge a book by the cover, but like we all do
This
anyways.
is the break that Brad would like to apply in your relationship with him, Dan. For insurance purposes, he would like to not tell you. It would be better if you didn't know. If you didn't know what you thought about his avatar.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
So I know you're not biased.
Okay, what do you got for us today?
All right.
Well, you guys kind of hit on it a little bit with your little Kira vision hypothetical. It was something related with like if you have an ex you still interact with, do you have should you tell your partner about it, and if so, like why? Because I can go into detail on, like the exact situation if you like, or we could just answer that question and I can add more layers onto it, whichever one works.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this ex. How long did you date? How long were you? Wait, real quick. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your age?
Oh wow.
Age, sex,
Okay.
location. Let's do it 90s style. Go ahead.
ASL.
I'm male. I live northeast. I'm 26 years old.
Neat status.
Hello? What is it?
Neat
Neat.
status.
Are you employed, working, school?
Oh, I'm working. I work in big tech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A little bit about me. I'm kind of a nerd. Spend way too much time online. I like video games, anime, etc. I have a lot of other hobbies related to cosplay and things like that. So that kind of leans into. I can like segue towards the situation I'm dealing with, if that's okay.
Okay, go for it. Wait, tell us real quick about your ex. When did you date? How long? What happened? Why did you break up?
Yeah, all right. My ex, we dated for like a little less than a year. We met through one of my hobbies, which was like an anime group. The relationship was started off okay. We kind of hit it off immediately, but then we kind of met. She low key, she was on some like abusive bullshit, and she ended up breaking up with me because I got more controlling personally. I think I just had boundaries, especially with like sleeping over in places and
So
stuff like
sorry, when
that,
you say
so-
she was on abusive bullshit, do you mean that she was saying that you were being abusive, or she was being abusive to you? What does that mean?
I would say, in my opinion, that she was a little bit abusive, very cold whenever I kind of expressed things to her. There were certain like boundaries which I didn't explicitly make, but I felt like it was kind of assumed.
Give us an example of like what's like one boundary that you assumed was a boundary and they broke it or something.
If you have a choice between staying over the night at one of your male friends' place or my place, if it's like the distance is like a 20-minute walk, you should probably choose my place.
She was staying the night over at guy friends' places.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, it's a little weird, but
Yeah. Also, like when we would hang out, she was like a little distant, stuff like that. There's a lot of nuance to these types of things. Do you want more details or?
How'd you guys break up? Let's
yeah,
get to the breakup.
Let's get to that.
Oh, okay. So there was another. So she would do that, and there was one point where, okay, I'll be honest. There was like an event, anime-related event, at this guy's place, and after everything was done, I thought she would come over to my place because like it was 20-minute walk, obvious stuff as in a relationship. And she decided, like, she said like she was tired and she wanted to stay there, and I was like, what the f-? And I kind of blew up on her, said like said some possessive stuff, and she was taken aback. A few weeks later, even though I apologized, I explained what I did wrong.
Wait, real quick, can you give me
later.
real
Yep.
quick, how old are you guys when you're dating here? Like 24, 25, 23, what?
I was 23, fresh out of college. She was like 21 or so I was a little older.
Okay, and she's getting tired and staying the night at guys' houses? Are these like in the context of like 10 or 20 people hanging out at a house, or is this just her and another person?
It was around 7 people. 3 people were staying over.
Okay, changes things a little bit, but all right.
Yeah, but I feel like still, if it's a 20-minute walk, just as a respect.
Okay, hold on. I'm just making a lot of assumptions and then asking questions. You can tell me if it's right or wrong, okay?
Sure.
Were you guys in conflict often where you were kind of hanging around with nothing to do and she had the opportunity to like go eat with a friend or go do something, and you're kind of getting thoughts in your head of like, why are you going out to eat with this friend when like you know that I'm available now? Or like, why are you getting coffee with this person when you know that like you could have called me to wake me up and I would have been able? Like, were these things that were like popping up a lot, or do you not think so? Or
No, we weren't having any issues like that. Like I'm perfectly okay with like having a girl who has her own shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was only certain situations, choice situations, where it's like, okay, you should probably stick with me. Like if she has her own friends, she likes to go on her events alone. Like that's perfectly acceptable. She's a human being.
So this thing only came up when it came time to like who's sleeping, like her sleeping over at houses or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Were you ever invited to like any of these
Houses,
party
yeah.
things or?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. You either A, I was invited, or B, like I'd set them up. So,
Wait,
Wait.
then why weren't you over at any of these sleepovers? Yeah.
so I'm sorry if I didn't explain this properly. So what would happen is we have an event at someone's place, and then like it would be like a party or a showing for a new anime, things of that nature. And then after it would be like maybe 11, 12 a.m. And then like you can either like stay at the person's place or like go somewhere else, go home.
Mm-hmm.
And she decided to not go home with me. Yeah. Also,
Oh,
this is
wait.
not,
Did you
yeah.
go home or did you have the option to stay
yeah.
as well?
I did have the option to stay as well.
Okay. All right. This is a lot
But
different. I'm
also-
understanding more now. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I'm trying to because
Yeah.
initially, as you present it, it almost sounds like she has the opportunity to spend the night with a guy, or just like take like a 20-minute walk to your place, and she's doing that. And it's like, well, that sounds really shitty. But now it sounds like what's happening is not to say that anything's right or wrong. I'm just figuring out. So you guys are kind of like all hanging out. There's like a party going on at somebody's house, or like a get together, whatever. And then as the night winds down, some people can kind of sleep over and hang out. Other people can go home. You wanted to go home with her, but she was like, oh, I'm kind of having fun here. Like I want to just like sleep over and hang out, basically.
No, like sleepover. I mean, like it wouldn't be hanging out. It'd literally just be sleeping.
Sure.
But you were there first. You left and she stayed.
Yeah.
What would she say when you would say like, "Hey, can we like go back to my place?" Like, what was her response to that?
Like that. Yeah, she was like tired and whatever and stuff like that.
Would it just
Also,
be
this
her
isn't-
alone, or were there multiple?
No, it
people
sounds like there were
staying
3 or
over?
4 people staying over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, wait, is there a
but,
chance that is there a chance that she was just tired?
I mean, hypothetically, yeah, but like again, I'm retelling these things, there's a lot of nuance. It's if it was just a one-off event, then
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't have been okay. But it was more of like a periodic thing with her being someone disconnected, like little slights here and there that even other people I knew was like, "Yo, bro, is she okay? Like, your girl's acting this way and whatever. Like, it's kind of off." So yeah, and that was kind of everything kind of accumulated up to that point. And also, this is not the thing I wanted to talk to originally. So
Well, yeah, sure.
Okay.
But these are important background things.
fair
You
enough.
said other people were noticing she was off. What do you mean by that?
So usually at certain, I guess, of course, everyone is a little bit different, but there'd be situations where she's really standoffish around me, even though we were like in an intimate relationship, stuff like that.
What is you got to explain that? What does standoffish mean?
So, like we would be at parties and whatever, and she would like be on the opposite side of the room, not a lot of like physical touching stuff, even though later on that's like a personal thing, but there you kind of realize how like that's really weird after I give some information later on, because she's definitely touchy most of the time, but when she was with me, she was very disinterested in doing stuff like that.
Okay. So the call-in issue was basically this girl you're befriending again, and you're in a new relationship. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So this is the girl that you're wanting to befriend. How does your partner feel about that?
My current partner,
Does she know that you had a relationship,
yes.
a history with this girl?
so the main issue was, and she does know now, but the issue was
Okay.
I like the relationship wasn't that good. There's no chance of me trying to cheat with her again.
That's
Like I fucking hated it. Oh no, don't do it, Dan. Don't do it. Listen, I have notes. So the relationship wasn't that good. She obviously wasn't feeling me then. Then after a couple of months and whatever, we started to do like a kind of friends with benefit type of thing. So
Wait.
that
With the
happened.
ex, right?
With the ex?
Yes, with the ex. Yes.
Okay.
And there's no way in your mind that you're going to cheat on your current partner.
Sorry.
Look,
Yeah, just keep going. Yeah, walk us down. We're down. We're
Okay.
we're in your life. We're in your shoes right now. Okay, we're taking.
This
a
is,
walk.
by the way, what I was talking about, Kyla, when I was saying that, like, I don't put myself in these situations.
You get the first win, okay? You get the first win.
Wait, hold on.
I'm a realist. All right, bro.
Let's
Tell
hear
me
it.
more how you're never gonna fuck this
Yeah,
bitch, even
go
though
ahead.
you did once before. Go ahead. I want to hear about
Yeah,
it.
he's got this. I believe in him.
He's got fucking the iron cock that will never go up unless it's on control. But let's hear it.
Look, I'm happy in my relationship. Okay, I stopped it off with that with her before like a decent amount of time before I met my current partner, and but the issue is like we're still we have a lot of the same hobbies, we're in the same groups, and despite some like bullshit that she pulled, other things that's kind of unrelated that kind of upset me, like in between the time where we broke up and I got with my my current partner. Like there was like one time where she knew that I was dating my current partner, and there was this guy who was bi, I suppose, and she with him kind of asked me to have like a threesome, and I was like no, and then they keep on pushing it or whatever, so that was really fucked up. But we're already part of a group, and I wanted to keep the peace, especially since everyone is like, she was fairly popular. She was like one of the 3 girls who's a part of it. So like I still had to interact with her because I couldn't get her kicked out because to be honest, our group is full of fucking soy boys who don't give a fuck when women are like mean or whatever. Long story short, we ended up having like a party, and this entire time I haven't really told her that she was my ex to my girlfriend.
Okay, wait, just real quick.
At the
Use a
party.
little few less pronouns. Just a second. So you haven't told your girlfriend at this party that you're at. How long had you been dating her?
Around like almost a year.
Okay, so you've been dating your girlfriend for a year, and now you're going to a party and you're running into your ex, and she doesn't know that girl's your ex. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said this other girl that was your ex tried to get you into a male female
Yeah,
threesome.
did she know about that
Wait.
invitation?
Yeah. Wait. How long ago was that? Was that during your current relationship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Okay.
Keep going.
No, I don't. Hold on. I'm gonna stop for a
I need to
second.
hear the
I
end of
don't-
the story, but go
No,
ahead. Yeah.
I don't feel like we really need to go on much further. Your shit's a mess, man. Okay. Like,
No, I gotta hear
not.
the. I gotta hear the. I gotta hear the party. I gotta hear what happened to the party.
What a mess.
What a
Go.
move. Okay.
Look, thank you. Long story short, we were drunk and whatever, and I guess one little thing is like I'm not used to being interacted with women in like a romantic context. Like I was ever since through like high school, most of college, like girls didn't really see me in a sexual light. So me depending on me realizing like, oh yeah, she's flirting and whatever, it was really hard for me until very recently for me to actually grasp.
Okay, real quick. When you said
Usually it's
she's
something
flirting,
like-
you're talking about your ex is flirting, right?
Yeah,
She's okay. Okay, keep
But-
going. Sorry.
but I'm not even sure if it was flirting because she was like super touchy and friendly with everyone. So I'm not sure if your mod person is gonna like send you a picture of an example.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should tell them. Or I could just send it to you, either one.
Yeah, I got that picture. We're looking at it.
Yeah. So I'm like, so you have like the girl who's like in the front, like looking straight at the camera. She's my current partner.
Okay.
And then the girl behind was my ex.
Okay.
And it looks pretty bad, but like I really didn't care. I wasn't.
Wait, are you in
engaging it at all.
between? Is that your head popping out in between them?
Yeah, with
Oh, I didn't
That's what
see
I
that.
thought.
Oh, I thought it was just
Yeah.
one face in the front because of the censoring. Jesus
This
Christ,
entire-
mate.
I'm just gonna say it. This is just like red flag after red flag after red flag after. Like, you're not very good at telling if somebody's flirting with you. You guys were friends with benefits. You had an extremely messy relationship. It doesn't seem like she's particularly respectful of your relationship. You've not told your girlfriend about this previous relationship or that she offered you sex. There's just like so many red flags that I don't know how you spin this around and have any of us go behind you and be like, yes, you can definitely be friends with your ex. This sounds like a great, healthy balance.
Yeah, fucking get rid of this bitch, man. What the fuck's wrong with you? You know you ain't supposed to be around her.
Wait, okay, what is your so what exactly is your question?
No,
I'm
that's
so curious.
he wants fucking like, hey, is it cool if I do it? No, motherfucker, it ain't cool.
Yeah, wait,
You're a
I'm
dick.
curious.
No,
what
no, no, no.
what exactly is the
Actually-
question? I have to know now.
Is it my fault for not explaining that she was my ex?
Yes.
Yes.
Because-
What else?
No,
Okay,
no.
hold on.
Can
No,
I-
I'll give you a
can
better
I
answer,
finish?
okay? Because I'm nicer than these guys,
Thank
okay?
you.
It's not your fault for not explaining that. But if you're not going to explain it, you can't be hanging around this girl constantly and doing all this shit, okay?
No,
Not at all.
You can, like, if you want to just never bring this shit up to your girlfriend, that's fine. But you guys can't be doing this shit. You said you're an anime fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If for no other reason, okay? If we want to play mind games with people, if for no other reason, because why would you jeopardize your entire existence on other people revealing that you had a relationship with this girl? Why would you even leave that up to chance? Like, also, oof. So I'll say one thing first. If she found out that you guys had a close relationship from somebody else, she's not going to trust you about any of this. Is that what happened?
No, she found out from me.
How?
So after that event, she was still fucking touchy, and she felt uncomfortable at it. Asked me the explicit question like, "Oh, do you guys have history?" And I said, "Yes."
Okay. So when your girlfriend asked that, so there's something that you said earlier that I don't think is quite right, or your girlfriend's just paranoid and was lucky. But earlier you said, this girl seems like she's touchy with everybody. If she truly was like that with everybody, I don't know if your girlfriend would have asked that question. The fact that she asked you that specific question kind of makes it seem like she was really touchy with you in a way that stood out from other people. Because if there was just some drunk person, I'm trying to imagine if I was with Melina and we were at a party, and we've been at parties before where they're like drunk people that are stumbling around, they touch everybody, do it. Like, Melina would never fucking ask me a question like that. But if I was hanging around with some girl, she was really flirty, really close with me or whatever, Melina's like, were you guys like together at some point? That's a pointed question that is showing that, like, okay, she's clearly engaging with you in a pretty special way.
Especially if you're like the photo you sent us, at least your girlfriend is sitting on your lap and she's touching you from in behind. I don't know if that's just like for the photo or is that emblematic of the whole party. But if in the whole party you're being decently cuddly with your girlfriend and she's touching on you, that's a lot more weird. Like, even a really touchy girl is going to be like deep. Like, it's weird to be like having a guy with his arm around his girlfriend and hang out with her, and then to like come up alongside and be like hello and like touching, and like that would be very odd.
And not even touching. This is like a full-on hug with like boob pressing against your arm and everything.
While your girlfriend's on your lap.
Yeah. So okay, so to return back to the, I'm sorry. What is your question? Are you trying to figure out if it's okay to remain friends with this girl?
No.
Then what?
The issue is like after everything happened, like the fallout was just so, in my opinion, a little bit disproportionate.
I don't really think
When
so.
you say fallout, you mean your girlfriend was hella mad.
Yeah.
Okay, because what initially it sounds like what she was trying in her head to think of as like, okay, maybe this girl's just like kind of touchy and kind of flirty or whatever. Now when she looks back, she's like, oh, this girl was all but f***ing my boyfriend right in front of me. It's probably how she felt retrospectively.
Which is why I would say you had the responsibility to tell her sooner, which is where like we would disagree.
Or at least before you're like emotionally cuddle fucking this woman.
She feels betrayed, and she like, it's understandable because in her mind, especially if you tell her about the threesome offer as your girlfriend, I would want to know if somebody that you were intimate with in the past was propositioning you, knowing you were dating me, to have a threesome. And I wasn't invited on the threesome. Like, it feels so disrespectful of me as your girlfriend to like know that you didn't share that with me would be really mind fucking.
Which part of what we've said so far today do you not know? What parts did you not know when you came into this call?
I I guess I knew all of it, but it was just.
I
like,
thought so.
a little-
You know, you fucked up. You know. Listen.
No. I don't think so.
Okay, so which part?
Oh wait. Yeah, wait. He didn't think he fucked up. Okay, go. How?
Thank you.
Well, no, I'm not agreeing with you. I'm just saying this is what you think. I want to hear you justify it.
No, chill. Can you just let me talk for 1 second? Look.
Long story short.
As for the
Huh?
Go
ahead.
For the threesome thing, like I rejected it. I was very upset. It was really fucked up, and I made that clear. Like straight up, yo, what the fuck? Not cool. And there's also I mentioned it before. It wasn't because I was like on some parasocial shit. I just wanted to tell you about my life. It was we're part of this group.
Wait. Can I ask you real quick, because this
Yeah.
is actually really important. What do you think is the bad thing in the context of your relationship about that threesome stuff?
It was bad because she knew that I was in a relationship, and she tried to play it. She wasn't respecting that.
Yes.
That's the main
So
issue.
when your girlfriend is seeing that, she's seeing that she just spent a lot of time around another woman that has no respect for her or her relationship. That's
Another
the
woman
issue.
that was pawing on you
Yeah.
in
But
front
here's
of her,
the- no,
who
no, no,
doesn't
no.
respect
Okay,
your
but
relationship.
here's the thing.
I don't like that phrasing because it makes it seem like I'm not a person. It seems like I'm like a resource or a pet.
Well, no, you are a
was in
person.
danger.
You're a person that
Yeah.
concealed. You're a person that lied about your history with this
God,
girl.
I'm trying to
did not
imagine
lie.
myself
Yo,
in this
that
situation.
jumping
Are you
logic.
Holy
still
shit.
into her? Are you still
Slimy
into her?
debate tactics.
Are you still into the ex?
No, absolutely
Not at
not.
all?
It was a fucked up relationship. 0%. It was a fucked up
Wait,
relationship.
hold on.
She's mentally ill. Yes.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you either.
I don't believe you either.
I don't think you want to
That's
date
a trifecta
her. I'm
of
willing to
non-belief.
believe you, but are you attracted to her still?
Wait.
Do you find her very attractive and alluring still?
Or
would you
even
tap that ass?
no. Fuck all that shit. This is why I don't believe you. Okay. In my mind, if I was trying to hide something from Melina, there's only one reason why I wouldn't tell her something, and it's because I don't want to lose access to that person. That's the only reason why I would hide something. Because I know if I tell her, she'll be like, man, fuck this bitch. You need to kick her to the curb. Don't ever talk to her again. Fuck, okay, well, I'm not going to tell her that shit. I'm going to keep that shit hidden. Why wouldn't you tell your girlfriend about your history with this girl if it was likely that you guys were going to meet and come up again, if it wasn't because you were trying to like maintain some level of friendship with that girl and you knew your girlfriend would be mad? That's my question.
I didn't think she'd be mad at me. I think she would be mad at like her, and it would cause a lot of drama and shit like that.
Wait.
That's why.
Cause a lot of drama?
Confused.
What do you mean by cause a lot of drama?
She would immediately think like she's like I don't know, like the devil.
Well, no. She'd think she's somebody that disrespects your relationship, and she would be right on that. And she probably wouldn't want you to talk to her anymore. That would be the only consequence, right? It's not like she's going to go fucking kill the girl, right?
And she'll probably
the
tell your
issue-
friends that she did that because she did.
So the issue is I didn't have a chance to talk about this again. Is like we're part of like a group where we all do things on the same. We have events where she can invite herself if she wanted to, and it would be difficult to kind of like break off. I would have to make the choice of being like, okay, I guess this group that kind of worked with everyone with to like build up from zero to where we are right now. I'd have to give that up and just.
Do you
like,
think that
find
you're?
another friend group?
Do you think that your girlfriend is a reasonable person?
Oh yeah, of course. Well,
Because if your girlfriend is a reasonable person, then you should be able to have a mature conversation with her about this so that the both of you are coming at this like it's a problem that you both need to solve, rather than this is just you trying to deal with something on the side where you're concealing shit from everybody so that you can get what you want out of all the situations, right? Because there's a world where you could have told your girlfriend, like, hey, this weird shit happened, but obviously we've got like a shared group of friends or whatever. Like, how do you think I should proceed? And it would probably make her feel like she's more involved in the decision-making process and figuring out relationship stuff rather than you just trying to like, because you understand from her perspective, it looks like you're just trying to get everything you want on the side while keeping her in the dark about everything. That's what it looks, and that probably is really what's going on, right?
no, that's not what was going on. It's
That's
just
how it looks. But that's how it looks to your
Yeah, fair.
girlfriend.
Sorry.
And
Okay.
you
Also,
know.
you got to wrap it up
Yeah.
real quick because Dan gets really bored when we do too much on one
Yeah,
call.
we got it. You
Okay.
want to fuck this bitch? It's an awkward
No, I do
situation.
not. I do
well,
not.
Well, what do you want,
'Cause I
man? You
would've-
can't be in that situation. That's the real talk I'm giving to you.
Yeah.
All right, you can't be there. You got to say goodbye to the ex and move the fuck on if you want to stay with your girl. No, That's it.
You
That's how it
ignored
has
a
to
Two
be.
huge
things.
point.
Okay,
No, no,
here's
no.
the two things.
No,
you
there
need to
is
take.
no other
I'm
way
gonna
out of
give
it.
I'm going to give you your two TDLs. Number one, you need to take responsibility for the fact that your girlfriend feels betrayed. It is fully understandable that she feels betrayed by you. Number two, you need to figure out and take responsibility for how you're going to navigate these relationships in the future. And your girlfriend not liking this girl and feeling betrayed by you are all completely valid, and it is on you to rectify this situation.
Are there
Ouch.
anything else you got for us? You good?
Look, I'll say this. I did try to improve and like to get her kicked out of the group, but it's not gonna happen. I guess I'll just have to I feel like it usually when something like this happens, it ends up causing a schism, and then a lot of people have to choose sides and shit. And I was probably trying to prevent that, but
Well, listen,
You're right.
you're probably not the first, and you won't be the last. Okay, those girls are trouble. There's a reason why in
True.
gaming
I agree
groups
with that.
we have strict no girlfriend rules. Okay, because when you bring girls into shit, it gets complicated. Fuentes has the right idea. Okay,
No girls in your
I'm
gaming
not saying
Discord
that.
No
either.
girls in your
Seriously.
workplace.
Yep.
Yep.
No girls in the gaming Discord. No girls inside of Rust groups. None of that. You fucking did the fatal flaw. You deal with it. Anyways, good luck. Get rid of this bitch. Maybe you'll have some luck. Otherwise, not a good luck moving forward.
all right, thank you.
Yep.
be careful, babe. Jesus.
Hello, hello. Oh, we are deafened. Any last thoughts?
He fucked up so
Hello.
many ways. What am I supposed to
You
say?
fucked up in every step. There was no.
Wait, hold on. We have a guest star. Abba wanted
Oh.
to give his thoughts. Oh, nope, he left. He was going to say some incel shit anyway. Don't worry about it. Okay. Hello, Skylar.
Hello. Video or no video?
No video. It's good.
I think we're doing no
video.
videos. Yeah.
Overlay can't handle it.
Well, no, it's, you know what? We're not, you know,
Anonymity.
we're better in Dr. K. You think you can handle it now, but you might not in the future. So this is actually, I'm going to make the decision you can't do video, okay? Because I don't know if you're ready for that. So just move forward. You think you are, you might not be. Go ahead. No real names either.
All right. Okay. So let me just pull up what I wrote. There are a few options that I threw
Age.
out there.
Neat status.
Age, neat status. I'm 23. I work part-time and do school part-time. I don't know if that makes me a neat.
Okay. No, it's just what you're doing, but okay. You work,
Okay.
school part-time. Gotcha.
Yep. And so I kind of have issues with like motivation to talk to women on Tinder. I drop conversations a lot. Some of that's because I don't necessarily know where to go with it from a certain point. Others, it's just a little bit, there's just a lot to continuing these conversations with people. So that's one option. I kind of have like a hard time conceptualizing what it means to like, I've been in relationships, I've had friends, I've had long-term relationships and casual relationships, but it's really hard for me to know what like what I'm going for with those, like how to really like evaluate whether it's like going good, going bad, if I'm getting enough out of it. So there's that. With men, I'm trying to explore maybe talking to dating men, and that's a little scary. And otherwise, I have like some poly things I don't know about. I've hung out in poly circles with people, done a lot of casual things there, but nothing like really committed to like an actual, you know, nothing I couldn't do as a single person. Those are the options.
Wait, so what is the question? Is the first question just how do you...
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'll formulate it. I have issues picking up conversations, turning it from like banter to like actually meaningful discussion that I want to have with this person and can have with them for hours on Tinder or at clubs. So that's something. Is that interesting to you? If we explore that.
Okay, wait.
How
On
do I
these
do that better?
messages that you sent, are these all from the same person or...
Are these all from the same? No, these are different people. Are you looking at the screenshots?
Yeah.
Yep, these are all separate individuals. I kind of tagged them. I don't know if you just got the screenshots. I kind of like organized them, but
Why aren't you responding back to some of these people?
some of them I don't know what to ask them, how to pick it up. Other people, let me go through the screenshots. Like,
Wait, Blue... Hold on, I'm sorry. I suck at...
Blue is him.
Blue is him.
Blue is Skylar.
Okay. And Wait, so what? So I don't understand this. First of all, I'm guessing, do you have something about superheroes in your profile?
No, I don't. Or actually, I do. Sorry, I have like a brief mention. I just list like all my interests, like vomit
Just to
them
understand,
out.
is this hetero or homosexual relationships? That might be
Homosexual
helpful as well.
relationships.
Okay, can we
so,
say
like,
gay,
female,
guys?
female.
It's 2022. We don't use homosexual anymore. Holy
So all of
fuck.
these are other dudes, yeah?
They're girls.
They're all girls.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. My brain is fucked. What are your pronouns? Are you trans or wait?
She,
what's
her.
happening? Okay, you're she, her. Okay.
Yes.
Are you comfortable saying if you're a trans woman or not, or?
Trans woman, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Jesus fuck. Okay, trans
Sorry.
woman, and you're
Trans
mainly
women,
going
trans
after
women.
guys on Tinder. Yes.
Women.
Girls on Tinder.
Oh, girls on Tinder. So these are women on Tinder.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm trying to understand what I'm reading. Okay, and you have something in your profile about superheroes. Okay, when you
So
get
anywhere
That's
it
one-
ends, that's the end of the conversation. Like, what kind of games do you play?
yeah, wait,
cannot
why would you not
respond
respond to this person? I don't understand.
I just those conversations never go anywhere. I don't know. I've had
Wait, so you're not even
many
trying?
times-
I don't know why you're not responding to these fucking conversations. These
Yeah,
are the
wait.
easiest things in the world to continue this.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
and I can tell from the conversation we're having right now that you know how to have a conversation. So, why aren't you trying to get with these bitches? What's the fucking holdup? It's like you're getting close, you feel like something's happening, and you're pussying out. What's happening? Why? Because it's not about your inability, like, oh, I don't really know what they want to talk about. Fuck
I
that.
guess-
You don't want to.
This one, you're so amazingly emotionally self-aware. So when you're worried about getting from
That
casual
conversation
banter to
went
deeper,
great.
yeah, because that one got deep. But
That
then you
wasn't it.
ghosted the bitch.
That was I didn't ghost them. That one actually turned into multiple dates and like great phone conversations, everything. That was an example of something that went really well and something I felt like I could work with and like transition into like not just shitty small talk and like actually having a reason to like reach out and be like, hey, I want to talk with you. So I don't know if it's just me feeling like these conversations are falling apart and me being disinterested so much as like, I mean, these people seem like they could be cool. I don't want to like write them off just because we had like what I would consider a shitty Tinder conversation. But
Okay. Hold on.
So
yeah.
I think when you have to make peace with Tinder, they're always going to be shitty, pretty like vain conversations. And
yeah, this is for smashing, bro. Tinder's for smashing.
Even if you want it for more than that, because some people do like, have actual dates from it. None of the depth is going to come from Tinder, like ever,
Yeah.
because it's all over text. It's very superficial. It's annoying reading paragraphs, right? Like people are just going to be, especially girls on dating, like they're quick and they're moving through stuff. So
And guys
it
too.
seems
I
like-
don't want to read fucking 400 fucking pages of text. Damn. That shit makes me
Tinder
anxious.
is to get phone calls and dates. That should be your goal of Tinder, is to like establish a bit of rapport, make sure that you guys click enough that you have banter, and then get onto a date. Because that's where any level of meaningful conversation is going to happen.
Don't try to have that before you ask for the number, ask for a date, etc.
Well, asking for a number is good, but the reason why we ask for phone numbers is to set up dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why, when we're looking at these messages, let's just go the very first one, the one that only has 4 messages. I don't know if you know which the first one. It's
It's
the evil villain
Right.
one. The evil villain one. Why did you not respond to this person after they said LMAO? Why not? Why not keep going? What's the real reason? I mean, I know you know what it is. So what is it?
It's a combination of I feel like I need to change the topics to something else. And I don't know what I could ask this person about when like bios are
Okay, here's
so
okay.
thin,
This is going to
etc.
be cringe.
Or
Hold on. You can segue, like there are ways to segue goofy conversations into more serious ones. Like you can interweave like comedy and shit too, right? With like more
Yeah.
serious topics. So do you care if I read some of these out loud?
Sure, yeah, you can.
So like, I don't know what this person's profile is. So they said, hey Skylar, how are you? If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why? And then you respond with a joke, and then you ask them, which evil villain organization do you work for? And then she said, Limpheo, it's a new and up and coming one with the crying laughing emoji, right? You could respond to this with a simple question of like, if you could make one evil villain organization, like what issue or group or thing or advocacy or whatever would you target? That's like it's kind of like playing off the joke, but that can transition into like a serious conversation, right? Because she might respond with some shit like, oh, I actually like environmental stuff. Or she might do another joke and then it's just like loose. But like that, there are ways you can segue these things into more serious conversations. And then if you want to go down that route, you can. Although again, I would suggest that if you're on Tinder, the goal is usually to get like an IG or a number as soon as possible so you can have these conversations in person.
Yep.
Wait a second. Hold up.
What?
Here's another fucking part. I don't know if you noticed this in this conversation. Look at the fucking date date range. June 3rd, she reached out to you. You didn't respond for a month and a day? The fuck?
Yeah.
True.
And she responded.
Yeah, some of these are further out, some of these aren't. Yeah.
You're highly successful. The fact that you responded a month later and she still responded is really impressive. Like most people kill to get this level of responsivity on Tinder.
Yeah.
So like as far as like hooking and like getting the door open, you're already killing the game. You're probably just like getting in your head a little bit about like how to transition. I would just keep the conversation flowing. Like worst comes worst all, if you feel the need to transition to a little bit deeper, you could always just mirror. So like if somebody makes a statement, let's go pull up your messages again.
Somebody's a little cringe.
Yeah, it's fucking Tinder, of course.
It's Tinder.
Yeah,
They're
no,
always cringe.
it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Basically anything that someone else plays with me, Rocket League, Tall Guys, favorite games. How about you? Okay, well half these people are just like inviting you to ask questions anyways. But if that one issue that you run into is like people will give you a statement with no questions back, and how do you build conversation off of that? The simplest thing to do is just like mirror a couple of their words and put a question mark at the end, which in text is really easy to do, right? So like if they type something like, my favorite superhero is this, and they just say a name, you can be like, Black Widow, right? And you open the conversation. If they don't respond, you can be like, what do you like about Black Widow? Like there's always ways to build off of it. Okay. And that's a really, really dry, boring way. But I don't even think you'll need that skill because you're pretty good at conversation, it seems. You think you're just getting in your head? Like getting,
Probably.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these just fall apart, and I'm the last one to not respond. So
yeah, so it's not even falling apart. You're destroying them.
Yes.
Okay.
And getting uninterested. And it might just be the case that like all the people that you've like been ghosting, you just like get bored of and you're not as interested in. And in that case, you just got to keep trying and talking to people. You're going to find somebody that you click with eventually, because your conversation skills and dating skills seem to be just fine.
Or at least the conversation ones are. The dating ones might be a disaster, so who knows?
That's true.
Yeah. I think they're good.
Yeah,
I think phone calls, I always try to get like a phone call in like as soon as possible. And then hopefully, a date.
Dude, okay, here's a question, okay, because you're on a dating show, so hard questions.
Yeah.
Do you write in your profile that you're trans? Do people know that?
I do not, but they may or may not know, and then I bring it up later, and no one seems to have had an issue with it, so.
Okay, because something that could happen is that if you don't bring that up initially and then people find out later and then you end up getting ghosted, that could mentally fuck you because now you feel like...
Yeah, I don't, because a lot of like work I do and stuff is related to it, and like I tend to bring up like some aspect about it that's going to make them like curious, and then like I'll, probably end up talking about it, so.
Sure, just that's... So I would, this is just me as a non-trans person, because what the fuck do I know?
Yeah.
But I would feel like that would be a topic that I would want to breach before I ever met them in person, because
Really?
if I found out in person, I knew about my height, but I'll tell somebody on the dating app, I'll ask like, how tall are you? And I'll say like, I'm 5'8", because I don't ever want to be in a situation where if I meet somebody and the girl ends up being like 5'9", and she's like, oof, you're like really short or some shit. If like, I've never had this happen, but if it did, why would I put myself up in that situation, right? Like there are some things I'm going to talk about beforehand, like, hey, like this or that, because I don't want to show up in person and everything is fucked, So that might be something you might want to change going forward. That like maybe you want to tell them, or maybe you want to put in your profile, or maybe not. But because if you don't, finding that out in person could be like really mind fucky. Just as a thing to think about. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anything else?
Unless you want to tackle something else entirely, but
we got a long list.
Drag in more
Yeah.
people. Okay, have fun. Be careful.
all right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Kayla.
Wait, 2-minute break.
Oh my god. Okay, wait.
Why
No,
the
go,
fuck
go,
so
leave,
fast,
go, quick.
bro? I know, drag him back out.
No,
You
go,
can get
leave. No, leave. Yeah, drag him out. Prison.
Drag him out.
Get out of here.
Hello. Get some-
Leave. Leave.
Get out.
Leave.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh man, these poor people. They come on for the first time, they just get screamed at.
Good. That's
They don't
life
know.
sometimes, okay? How do you enter the world, okay?
Is it
Naked and
life?
screaming.
Is it
Yeah,
life?
that is life.
In what world do you just like enter a room and everyone's screaming at you to
That's
get
literally how you enter reality when you're born, okay? Get used to it.
Okay, good one, Steven. Yeah.
Stay mad. You're just woman brained. You can't handle the reality of life. It's not my fault, okay?
That's true.
Cry to
I
your
need to
mom.
be protected at all costs.
True.
So people keep mentioning a Sneeko and Reverse Fresh and Fit with Sneeko.
I don't know.
Abba.
Maybe we'll see.
Hey, I think Destiny. I think you should call out Kyla.
About what? Which thing?
Well, earlier she said that her and her partner be checking each other's phones if they want to, and like it's open and shit.
What's wrong with
I'm
that?
pretty sure
I do that
I remember you telling me that if you're at the point where you want to check your partner's phone, you should just break up because it's over.
No, there's two different ways you can go about this. So like me and Melina have an open phone policy. If we want to look at each other's shit, we're generally allowed to. There's a difference between that versus like people that traditionally don't, and then somebody starts digging. That's a different type of thing.
Ours is like open phone, except for the notes section of his phone, because that's like his diary.
What's the difference
I don't
between
check
that?
his phone.
The difference is that in one policy,
I've ever just gone through his phone and like read all of his messages. That like basically never happened.
yeah, the difference is that in one end, you guys are just like open with your shit and you can look if you want. The other is like somebody's like, I know this motherfucker's shit. I'm gonna go fucking find it. And you've already got like those really kind of like toxic thoughts.
But under what circumstance are you just going through her phone or her messages if you don't suspect something's weird?
Basically never, but sometimes, for example, like this is where we have open phone, right? If he's driving, I'll be on his phone. He'll be like, hey, can you call my mom? I'll call his mom. I'll be reading Google on his phone and like scrolling through stuff, like just chilling out. So at any point in time, if he was cheating, the girl could text and it could come up, right? And it's like, if he was worried about that, he probably wouldn't let me have his phone. But as far as like both of us, it's just like, if you want to use my phone at any time, he could theoretically check through my messages at any time. I don't even think I'd be that uncomfortable unless he was being like, what's going on, right? Like, what are your messages between like you and like Steven or something like that? And I'd be like,
yeah, and then for me and Melina,
welcome to.
Yeah, for me and Melina, it's usually just funny to see other conversations. On my end, it's funny to see like streamers that are trying to hit her up and shit on her end. Sometimes we go over conversations of mine that are funny. Like it just depends on what's going on. But there's a difference between like just kind of like looking at each other's shit versus like I'm gonna go look for shit. Because the problem with that I'm gonna go look for shit mentality is usually one, if they're looking hard enough, they'll always find something that'll make them upset. And two, usually it's never enough because they'll start thinking like shit got deleted or there are hidden messages in other places. Like usually there's an underlying thought that's like mind fucking them more a little bit there.
So just so I understand, there's just times where you just grab her phone like, oh, I'm just gonna go check your messages, see if there's anything funny going on.
That doesn't really happen. There might be times where like I'll be honest, I'm a super snoopy person. I like to read everything. So like if she leaves a phone open and she's like chatting with somebody, I might just like read their conversation because I'm curious. But it's never like I'm gonna go see what she said to this guy or I'm gonna go see blah blah blah. It's usually just like if we ever hang out and you leave a phone open near me, I'm gonna be going through your shit because I just like to read shit. But that's just me. And then on my end, what Kyla said, like if we're hanging out with each other and somebody just wants to use somebody's phone for some shit, you can just like do whatever. But yeah,
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but this shit sounds so unhinged. It's crazy.
Sure, you can sound unhinged as you want, sure. But I mean, like,
what sounds unhinged? Just going through your partner's phone, like reading private messages or like reading.
It's because
messages
you have like the most. I think because you have like
Yeah.
the most autistic conception of it. If you're running into the room and you're like, I'm gonna see what you said to Daniel, and you're like scrolling through like fucking rage reading, yeah, that's fucking really weird. But if it's just like if there's like a funny conversation that happened, or if you're just like in the same room with each other, or if you're like using each other's devices, like I think there are natural ways you can just like use people's shit or whatever. Or like if Melina's having like a funny combo with somebody, I remember there was that's another story. But no, like sometimes it's just like funny shit that you just like show your partner on your phone. You don't care if they're like on your phone, they're going through shit or whatever, who cares? But it's not like going through shit like they're like, hey, like I'm gonna do my weekly investigation of all your DMs and see what's going on. Yeah. Like, yeah, that would be really weird. That would be unhinged.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like say Nick is texting somebody, right?
I love that you guys are just backing each other up, even though both of you sound crazy in this circumstance. It's cool.
I think we just have an autistic. I actually think you're thinking about this when we were at. Like Nick will be on a phone and he'll be talking to me about a conversation that he's maybe having with somebody, and he'll be like, "What do you think about this?" And he'll be like reading to me some of their thoughts, and I'll be like, "I don't know." And then he'll just give me his phone, and I'll just quickly read through it to get an idea of like what's going on, and then we'll respond, right? Or say like I'm driving and I need to text somebody back on my phone. I'm driving. I'll just give them my phone and be like, hey, can you message this person? And then they'll like do sometimes they'll do like a full conversation for me of just like typing down what I say and like reading back and forth, unless it's like a private conversation for that person. But it's not private because of I'm embarrassed about him seeing it. But like say if I'm messaging my friend about like her husband and they're like in a bad situation, then I probably wouldn't let him read it. But that's to protect my friend's privacy because she hasn't like essentially consented to have everything out. But like it's really chill. Like it's not this like weird thing. It's usually very chill and casual. There's not really a time where like I'm just like going into like Nick's room and grabbing his phone and like perusing through everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, I'll let you guys get back to the call. So I just want to fill the time while Dan was going and grabbing his wine. So
be careful, Ben.
Carry on.
It's not a wine. It was a mixed drink.
How dare you?